drive about an hour to get to work every day. And sometimes on these drives I don't listen to the radio and I just kind of stay lost in my own thoughts. Well, today I started thinking about all the ways that the able-bodied person has unintentionally hurt or disadvantaged the disabled-bodied person, or in some cases, some people prefer the term differently abled. Any way you look at it, someone who is different, they have some sort of maybe physical limitation or mental limitation of some sort. Anyway, what I remember, and I'm as guilty of this as anyone else, what I remember is one time I was working at an office and a woman came in who was severely hard of hearing, and she used American Sign Language, and I use American Sign Language as well in my day-to-day life. I have patients who are deaf or hard of hearing or severely hard of hearing, and I use ASL to communicate with them with my limited knowledge of interpretation skills. Long story short, when the woman came in, I was the secretary, and she came in and said that she was there for a job interview that was scheduled. And I confirmed her appointment, and I sat her down in the waiting room, and I saw that she didn't have a sheet of paper or pencil, any way of communicating with the boss, who did not know American Sign Language. He did not have any experience with it or anything. So I offered my services to her. I used ASL to communicate with her and said, "Would you like an interpreter?" She said, "No, I'm okay." Just before the boss came out, I asked her a second time, "Are you sure you don't want an interpreter?" And she said, "No, really, I'm okay." And I said, "Would you like a piece of paper or a pencil, a way to communicate?" And she said, "No, I'm fine." I realize now what I was actually doing was, although I was trying to be helpful, and in my heart I really did have truly good intentions, the reality is, though, I was doing something that a lot of able-bodied people do. They see someone with a disability, say in a wheelchair, or someone who is, deaf, hard of hearing, blind, whatever. They offer help, which is not a problem. They offer to help, but when the person says no, we don't take no for an answer. And that is a big problem, because you're basically disrespecting that person's choice to accept or not accept your help. And I know that I had only the positive and most good of intentions. And I know that my boss ended up not hiring her, not because of her disability, but because her schedule was not flexible. But yet he had a very successful interview. She was able to communicate without any help from anyone, no paper and pencil required. She was able to read his lips. She was able to communicate efficiently, effectively, clearly. So I found it really frustrating that I limited someone without even meaning to. I almost imposed another limitation on someone who didn't need that limitation imposed on them. So I just encourage anyone out there who, when you see someone who's just different, and you offer to help and they say, "No, I'm okay," take it as that. Don't take it personal. Don't be offended because someone refused your help, because maybe they just don't need it. And, think of it in the reverse. If you are walking in a store, or if you're doing something and someone offers to help you and you say, "No, I'm okay," and, they continue to persist, you may finally give in and say, "Yeah, sure, whatever, that's fine." But think about how frustrating it must feel to have someone take pity on you when you don't feel you need pity, when you don't feel you need help. So I just encourage you to really reflect on maybe your past experiences with people of just different lifestyles or who just experience or go through this life differently than you, I encourage you to kind of self-reflect. And I'm not asking you to criticize your decisions or your movements or anything, but maybe reflect and see, could I have done something differently? Could I have maybe reacted differently, or could I have not offered help and let them do it on their own? Sometimes it's better not to offer help to anyone if they don't require it, or if they're not struggling. If they are struggling, of course you're going to offer to help because you're a good person. But if they're not struggling, if they're just standing there thinking about whether or not they're going to get that item from the top shelf, you can ask, sure. But if they say no, respect. It's as simple as that. And even though I no longer struggle with that, taking no for an answer, I do still struggle inside with whether or not I should be offering help or whether or not I should just leave them alone, because everyone has the right to be left alone also. So that's it. That's my little rant. Anyway, I still got another 20 minutes to get to home, so have a great day, guys. Bye.